right, everybody, welcome to BO Boys for Thursday, February 2nd. F it, it's a raw feed. We're doing it live. I'm Clayton.
I'm Pat. All right, let's get to it. We have a huge weekend to preview right now. It's been a little bit of time since we've had a big movie, and we've got two big movies and a big TV finale in theaters to preview this weekend. Clayton, are we going to get right into it with the one that we think is the big one? Wait, hold on one second. I'm hearing. Are you hearing that knock? I,
Oh,
I'm hearing a knock. And I think it's time we answer the knock at the cabin.
wow. The acting was so good that I got scared that we were having some sort of audio issue that I was going to have to take care of editing this later. But instead,
No,
we get to just slide right into a movie that we've been anticipating. And we have to see if wider audiences are
mhm.
anticipating it. Of course, we're talking about M. Night Shyamalan's Dave Bautista starer, A Knock at the Cabin Door.
Yes, which I think is just Knock at the Cabin. I think that is
Knock
the
at the
title. The
cabin. You're
title of the
right.
film is
Knock at
Knock
the
at the
cabin.
Cabin.
Right.
Your mind immediately fills it in with door at the end because you assume
Yes.
they're not knocking on the window, they're not knocking on the wall, they're not up on the roof knocking, they're knocking at the door. But
Yes.
the movie is officially called Knock at the Cabin.
That was my I just want to dance with somebody.
Yes, exactly. That this is your mind fills in the blanks, but this is it. This is a big one. It's a new M. Night Shyamalan. It's Dave Bautista's, I would say, his first real shot as a lead in a theatrically released movie. You know, he had
Yes.
My Spy was going to be that first shot. Pandemic happened, that went to Amazon. You know, he's had stuff like Bushwick, Two Handers, but that's a very small indie release from years ago. This is Dave Bautista, leading man, big Universal Studio release, working with an auteur, you know, above the title director and M. Night Shyamalan. It's a big one. It's a big one.
Yes.
And I feel like, are we too high on this film? Are we high on our own supply here?
Well, it depends on what we're talking about here. I mean, money wise, Box Office Pro is saying anywhere from 18 to 27.
All
So
right.
unless you were going higher than that, I don't think we're too high.
So let's break that down a little bit. I brought up some comps, which are basically the last few M. Night Shyamalans, taking out Glass. I think Glass is a movie that is not even worth discussing in the context here because Glass was a sequel to an IP. You know, it
Yeah.
was the sequel to Unbreakable.
It was a
Bruce
larger
Willis.
scale sort of feeling.
Yeah, a built-in audience. But I think the movies to compare this to are M. Night's other three movies aside from Glass's recent ones: The Visit, which was sort of his comeback film back in 2015. Then you've got Split in 2017, and Old, which was his 2021 sort of like post-vaccine summer release that year. So
Yeah. So I
I'm
mean,
gonna
the one that feels the most like that we can compare to, I do
Mhm.
feel like is Old.
Okay. Okay.
Just because I feel like the you with um what was the one that you mentioned, the Split.
There's the Visit and Split. Split is was such a incredibly catchy premise.
It's
The
and
split
also
personality thing.
it did after the first weekend to get that bump from being connected to the old unit to that Unbreakable universe.
Yeah.
So Cabin Knock at the Cabin is a standalone that we know of,
Right.
sort of thriller with an interesting premise that we don't necessarily know where it's going to go.
Right.
And The Visit is that, and Old is that. I would take
Yeah.
Split out of that equation
Okay.
for comps.
So Split's gone. We're eliminating Split from the comp situation. I feel
Yeah.
like it's a game show when we've eliminated Split.
Yes.
All right. So then we're focusing on Old and The Visit. So Old opened at $16 million. It opened
Mm-hmm.
at 16.8, it's almost $17 million in July 2021.
Yes.
And I think that is a little low as a comp for this movie because Yes, it was a summer movie, but it was that 2021 summer when we're just starting to come out of the pandemic. Movie theaters are opened, but people aren't fully going yet
Yes.
at that point. So, Old is a movie that I think a year later, if that movie comes out in late July or August of 2022, it probably opens, you know, almost double what it did.
Hmm.
Um, so I think Knock at the Cabin Door is going to be higher than Old. It would be a huge disappointment if it is an Old territory opening
Well, the
weekend.
other thing too is that we've got Dave Bautista, who
Yep.
is a name.
Yes.
He's an emerging star. I mean, Glass Onion, of course, got that horrible aborted release by Netflix
Oh,
over Thanksgiving, which still leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
yeah.
But he got a lot of good buzz for his performance on in that film, and people saw it in the theater and then they saw it on Netflix. So
Yes.
he's got buzz there. Of course, that Guardians trailer, Guardians 3, the last one, he had a great showpiece at the end of that trailer. He's got Dune 2 coming up. He's in the zeitgeist. I've seen a
Yes.
lot of articles, profiles on this man running up to this release. And so Batista himself, that fan base, and the
Mm-hmm.
people who also are doubters who want to see, can this wrestler be a dramatic actor? There's
Right.
doubters who are going to sit down and plunk down their money for a ticket
Right.
and buy popcorn and buy pretzel bits and
Right.
buy juji fruits
Right.
to sit there and be proved right or proved wrong. And
Yes.
so that's why I do think that conservatively, this thing is going to have to make over $20 million on the low end.
Right. Right. I mean, so the other movie we're using as a comp is M. Night Shyamalan's The Visit, 2015. Again, that was sort of his comeback out of the wilderness of, The Happening and After Earth and like his nadir.
Oh, and
And this
Avatar, the water, that one. What was that one? Not
the Last Airbender.
Last Airbender. Sorry,
Yes, yes. So 2015, that movie comes out and it makes 25 million opening weekend. And it's
that's
early
huge.
September weekend. So again, I think Knock at the Cabin Door will do more than The Visit, because if you think back to The Visit, that was M. Night Shyamalan's name, I think meant less than it does now. Even though he always is going to have his haters, I think people have come around to he's a solid genre, craftsman. And I think this movie again has bigger stars than The Visit did. So,
Yeah,
so
I think 2015 was a different time. Definitely. I mean, there were more moviegoers. I mean, there just were. I'm not saying that we aren't getting back to a place where we are going to be at full capacity when it comes to people going to the movies. I do think there's still like comping something to 2015, that is like feels like eons ago.
I don't know. I mean, I think, listen, we're here every week and we're seeing stuff make money that you wouldn't have thought. There
Yeah.
are the people want to go to the movie. The problem hasn't been the people, it's been the product. And this weekend they've got the product. So I don't think it's off to comp this movie to The Visit. And it feels like this should do more than The Visit. I think it's got more buzz than The Visit did at that time. The Visit definitely, that 25 million felt like a big surprise,
Mm-hmm.
whereas Knock at the Cabin Door making 25 million would feel like business as usual based on how aware people are of this movie. I mean, something to keep in mind, and this is something that the great Scott Mendelson always says, is you get movies that get a big boost from having a trailer connected to the right movie.
Yes.
He always points to Elvis this past June benefited greatly from having its trailer play constantly in front of Maverick. And I think Knock at the Cabin is going to get a lot of benefit from having its trailer play in front of Megan this last month.
Well, it does feel like, okay, what's the next fun thriller. Although Megan really was skewing towards younger women,
Right.
this seems to be skewing towards younger men, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that is going to be less people going to
Right.
this, right? Do
Right.
you see this opening close to Megan?
I think that this get could sniff 30. I think there's that chance.
Sniff 30.
I think it's gonna get past the visits 25.
Okay.
And I feel like 28, 29 is doable, and 30 would be fantastic. But I feel like sniffing 30 is gonna be the headline coming out of this opening weekend for Knock at the Cabin.
Now, so Box Office Pro is saying that it's going to be number 1 and it's going to make 23.2. That's what they're saying. You're saying 28 or 29?
I think sniffing 30. Yeah. I think
Okay.
the knock sniffs 30 this weekend.
I have a good and I have a good feeling that this is going to make 27.
Okay.
I
So
just feel like
also,
it's going to be the high range of the tracking.
right.
I think, like you said, the audience is there. I don't see it getting to 30 because I just don't see. I don't see it being as widespread as Megan was.
Right.
But I mean, being off by 3 million is not anything to like sneeze at. And I do think this movie's going to have legs because right now I don't believe reviews are out for it.
I don't think officially reviews are out. I think you're starting to see reviewers sort of leak their opinions in, tweets.
Yeah.
But I don't think I don't think Rotten Tomatoes has a roster of reviews up as of yet. I mean, I think that there's goodwill for Batista. There
Mm-hmm.
is better will than there had been years ago for M. Night Shyamalan. It is based off of a novel, so there are just going to be fans of the novel that are going to be interested. It is sort of IP.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I think the trailer playing before Megan is going to help.
Now,
So,
okay, so I'm looking at Rotten Tomatoes. It does look like there is a score. It's 71%,
okay.
which I think is probably pretty good. I mean, obviously, it's not like his Sixth Sense type of,
Right, right, right,
thing, but Old was at 50,
right. And Old
you
did
know?
16 million in, the pandemic sort of throwaway summer.
So 70% is going to give some people an idea of like, okay,
Right,
this could be something. I'm going to take a flyer on this.
right, right. So I think we're in around the same ballpark. I'm slightly higher
Mm-hmm.
on the exact dollar amount, but I think we're both sort of in that sniffing ballpark, the sniffing 30.
Yes. I think uh I do think that this is a movie like Old, which is going to, do well. It's not going to like break the bank in the opening, but I think people are going to come to this movie when they come, and it is going to have some good legs here.
Yeah. Well, we'll follow that. So we're thinking that movie sniffs 30. Does 80 for Brady sniff 80? Do you see an
Okay,
$80 million opening weekend for 80 for
I'm going to
Brady?
go 100 for Brady because he just retired. He's in the
Okay.
news. No, this is a movie that completely flummoxes me. And people are bullish on this movie. Box Office Pro is saying from 13 to 19 million. And I, I mean, I get it's not aimed for us, even though we were big book club fans.
Well, I mean, that is the reason for anyone who's bullish to be bullish on this movie is the book
Mm-hmm.
club factor. So, I mean, 80 for Brady is a football comedy starring elder stateswomen of comedy. You got Sally Field, you've got Lily Tomlin, you've got Rita Moreno is in this,
Yes.
and you've got Jane Fonda.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing. The first time we saw this trailer, we were all at a film together, myself, yourself, several friends of the show, and this trailer came on, and both I and one of the other people we were with watched I would say 70% of the 80 for Brady trailer confusingly thinking we were watching a Book Club 2 trailer. Like we got pretty far into this trailer, forgetting that, oh, wait, it wasn't Sally Field, it was Candace Bergen. Oh, it wasn't Lily Tomlin, it was Mary Steenburgen. Like, oh, right, Rita Moreno. And I think we both thought Rita Moreno was added to the group for Book
Mm-hmm.
Club 2. And then, of course, Jane Fonda. That's the main reason we're like, oh, this is the weird road they're taking on a book club sequel. And then it wasn't until the very end that we finally accepted this is a completely different movie that doesn't take place in the book club verse.
Yeah, I mean, I think you were also thrown off by the fact that one of them does write Gronk, like erotic fiction.
Yes, and that is how the trailer starts, and I do not think that is a coincidence. I think right from the start, by having a book joke open the trailer, the makers of 80 for Brady are trying to get audiences to, if not totally think this is book club 2, to at least be incepted into feeling like they want to see this because of book club.
Well,
That is the plan.
you're a fan of scams. It's a great scam. It's a great
Flim
misdirect.
flams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you should be happy that you were snookered by that.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Now, here's okay. So, book club opened to 13,
Mm-hmm.
and this was in May of
2019,
2018.
18. Wow.
Yeah. So, here's my thing about 80 for Brady that is my downsides here. Why this
Okay.
movie may not do that sort of opening. Brady has just retired
Mm-hmm.
at his lowest ebb.
Yes.
He's not a family man anymore.
Nope.
He's doing weird plastic surgery stuff.
Yep.
Listen, hey, I'm going to be doing weird plastic surgery stuff. So I'm not putting like a value judgment on that.
No,
I'm
no.
just saying that there are people who will not like the way I look when I do my weird plastic surgery.
Oh,
And when my hair plugs are down to my eyebrows,
right.
they're going to think I look like a freak.
Oh, we're going to hear it from the wannabe boys, the wannabe girls, the wannabe people.
People.
They're all going to say, what has B.O. Boy Clayton done to himself?
What did he
I
do to
don't
his
know
face? Yeah.
Yes. I don't
Yeah.
know if I could take his box office analysis seriously anymore.
Yeah.
But we don't have that kind of money yet. So we have not done that plastic surgery. Tom Brady is obviously he's achieved that level where he could do that to his face.
Yeah. He's not on the Patriots anymore, so I know this
No.
happens in the past, right?
Yes.
The other thing, though, that we never forget as New Yorkers, but I think the rest of the country kind of forgets until they're offered a movie about the Boston area, the New England area.
Mm-hmm.
People don't like Boston. People don't like New England.
Right.
I mean, people hate New York, but they hate New York because they want to live there. Nobody's like, I hate Boston because I want to live there.
There
And
is
so,
a history of Boston sports team based movies that bomb at the box office. I mean, if you go back, it's Celtic Pride,
mhm,
right? The famously written by Colin Quinn, Celtic Pride, 1996. That movie made a total of $9 million domestic. Then you've
yes,
got, let's look up Fever Pitch, which was the Boston Red Sox Jimmy Fallon
Farrelly
movies.
Brothers,
Farrelly Brothers,
Drew Barrymore, America's sweetheart.
and that is at the height of Red Sox quote unquote mania. They broke the curse and all that. That movie opened to $12.5 million in 2005, but that is kind of near the height of the Farrelly Brothers. It's only a few movies removed from their big run. And
Mhm.
that movie in the end bombed. That only got out to like 42 million in 2005. So that was a bomb.
And
And then
let's
you've got the Boston Marathon bombing movie.
I'm sorry, that was just what I was going to mention.
Go
I
for it.
mean, I'm not making light of that situation,
No, no.
right? Patriots Day, the film,
Mm-hmm.
was a bomb.
What? Yes.
And
Yes.
it was a movie that was about a horrible tragedy that happened to a community and a city that the filmmakers put a lot of live into it. It was Mark Wahlberg and I think it was Peter Berg, the
Yeah.
Bergs. uh, they put out this movie about Boston Strong, Boston Pride, and people were like, "Listen, we feel bad for you, but we don't want to be in Boston for any reason."
Yes. Yes. Yeah. It is true. These celebrate Boston movies bomb. I mean, obviously there are movies like The Town,
Mm-hmm.
and a movie like that did great business, probably did what, 80 million domestic or so. But those are movies, or The Fighter,
Yeah.
that did over $100 million domestic when it came out. But those are movies that are, hey, look at these scumbags. And I say that with love, of
Oh
course,
yeah.
but look at this scum of the earth, Boston. And that is what audiences want to see. The Departed, a movie that, again, everyone in Boston is either a criminal or a cop who is a crooked cop and a criminal.
Mm-hmm.
That's what people want to see out of Boston. They don't want to see these celebrate Boston heroes movies.
Yeah.
And that is what, I mean, Brady's in the title. So if you
Yes.
don't like Boston and you don't want to celebrate it, 80 for Brady is going to be a turnoff. And apparently that is most of the movie going audience falls into that camp.
Yeah, I just don't know. This isn't like Jordan at his height,
Right. This is not
right?
Space Jam.
This isn't Space Jam. So it's that's.
And Lily Tomlin is not Bugs Bunny.
But I will say, Jane Fonda, Lily Tomlin, they do have a very big Netflix show that was very popular with a certain demographic. And
Right.
it might be, hey, these two women we love together
Right.
are on screen together. And I believe what Grace and Frankie was the show. And I do believe
Yes.
it is over. So maybe they're like, hey, we want a little Grace and Frankie. We need to go to the theater to see it. Let's
Right.
do it. I mean, I think it is the perfect slot for it. It's that weekend between the playoffs and the Super Bowl. This is when you release this movie. So this is the window is correct. This
Yeah.
window is where it's going to get its best shot. I just don't know how many people are going to want to see this movie.
Yeah. I mean, I think, last thing I'll say on this, when you compare it to Book Club, it's targeted at older women, and it's a movie about older women reading books
Yes.
and being in a book club, a thing that audience probably could relate to more so. And listen, everyone loves football. It's the only thing that props up network television. But I think book clubs are just more popular with the fan base that this is going for. I don't know how many older women really do want to see a football movie. If this was who are the old men now? If Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau were still alive, and Robert Urich, I don't know, other famous old men, Peter Falk, and it's 80 for Brady with these four old men, and they're all trying to meet Brady, I think then the old man audience is more apt to, oh, it's got my old men and it's got football. Let's do it. Not
Well,
to be so down the middle on gender lines. Obviously, everyone likes everything, but I don't think football is going to resonate as much as book clubs did with this audience.
yeah, I mean, the thing is, though, this is doing pretty well social media wise for the age of the actresses in it. It is having stronger engagement than movies like Death on the Nile, Downton Abbey, A New Era, and Ticket to Paradise. And they're doing a lot of things like BFF night, ladies' night. They're wanting people to go with friends. That's going to be that's going to be what this movie will succeed or fail on, is can somebody who is in that demo, an older female demo, get three other women to come with them?
Yeah.
Can they get their husband and another woman and their husband, not to be binary, but can they get those people to come out together,
Right,
right?
right, right.
That's the thing. This is not a one ticket for 80 for Brady. This is a four tickets for
Right,
80 for Brady. We
right.
are those women. And even if we don't care about Brady, we love to hang out. So we want to see old ladies hanging out.
Yeah. I mean, I do
Older ladies,
wonder.
my apologies. Older women.
Yeah. I do wonder though if they'll just wait a couple of weeks and say, you know what? We're all going to party together when we go see Magic Mike's Last Dance.
That I think the age group for 80 for Brady is older than Magic Mike's Last Dance.
Oh, but I think those same women are going to, you give them a taste test. They're going to pick Channing Tatum over Tom Brady.
But Pat, why can't they do both? They can do
They could
both.
do both.
They can make it a habit.
They could make it totally. I agree. I guess we're both a little. I'm not. Listen, the cast, Lily Tomlin and Rita Moreno and Jane Fonda, they're all legends. Sally Fields got an Oscar. We love her. We really love her. Or
Yes.
like her. We really like her. We don't love her. But they're great. I just don't know if Tom Brady will be the impetus for these groups of women and their friends to go out to the movie theater, because he's the one that you've got to want to see. You've got to want to see. Ooh, I'm in the same boat as these ladies. We got to get us some Brady.
Maybe and maybe not. Like in book club, 50 Shades of Grey is the book, and it's kind of just a excuse
It
to
is, but
get them together.
the movie is called 80 for Brady.
Yeah.
It's hard to be on the side of these characters if you can't even understand why they're
I
going
think a
crazy for
better
Brady.
title at this point would be Super Old at the Super Bowl.
Yes, yes,
And it
yes.
can still be about Brady, but Brady has bad connotations. I think he leaves a bitter taste in a lot of people's mouths at this point. Now, tracking is from 13 to 19, and Box Office Pro is saying 15.6. They're being very bullish on this.
Listen, I'm going 11.
11.
I don't think this hits the book club number. I don't think this hits the book club number. I think this
You
is
don't think so? You don't think it makes 13, which would be book club?
Yeah, I think it's 11. So we'll see. We'll see. We got one more big new release that we got to preview here, and that is the season finale of the new season of The Chosen.
Oh
So
yeah.
this is The Chosen. What season is this we're in? We're in season
Season
3.
3.
So back in November, it was November 18th, the folks behind the show The Chosen released Chosen season 3 episodes 1 and 2 in movie theaters. It played for 3 weeks. It had 2,000 theaters the opening weekend, and it opened that weekend at $8.7 million for episodes 1 and 2 of season 3 of this religious show The Chosen. And now they're putting the season finale in movie theaters. So Clayton, what do you think is more appealing? Do you think that going to see episodes 1 and 2 of the new season is more appealing than seeing the season finale? Or do you think the season finale of the show is actually going to be a bigger draw?
I think a finale is a big event,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people don't talk about episode 1 and 2 of The Sopranos. They talk about The Sopranos finale,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that this is probably going to do a little bit better than the first. I think people who missed out on seeing the first 2 episodes on a big screen are going to say, "Hey, I can't miss out on the last episode
Mm-hmm.
being on the big screen." So I
Right.
think this is going to be a tick upward.
So here is, I think, where we have a hard time being able to make an accurate prediction is we do not watch this show. You know,
No.
we don't watch a lot of television in general, but even amongst the TV we both do watch, we have not made time for The Chosen season 3.
No.
And it really does depend on how season 3 of The Chosen has been, because is this a great season of The Chosen? You know, if it is, then the momentum has grown since they put episodes 1 and 2 in theaters in November. But
Yeah.
is this kind of a dud of a season? You know, is this a season where The Chosen fans are saying they jumped the shark, they jumped the cross, you know, whatever it is that their snarky TV lingo amongst religious fans? Is that kind of season, or is this maybe, you know, the Seinfeld season 4 of The Chosen? Is this the great season?
And when you think about season 4 of Seinfeld, season 1 was only what, 8 episodes? So it was basically season 3.
Yeah. So I
Season
mean,
4 was basically season 3.
is this that, you know, the high watermark of the series? And we don't know that. And you know, the ratings for this show are not very readily available, unfortunately. So I really can't tell you whether this is a big rating season for The Chosen. Um, so it is hard to say whether this season has a lot of momentum or if fans of the TV show are disappointed with it so
I
far.
mean, I would say quality does play a part, but I think more importantly, it is firmly more in the zeitgeist than it's ever been.
Okay.
I think that's important, is that The Chosen has taken a place in the zeitgeist that it didn't have in season 1 and 2.
Because of these releases
Because
of
of
the
these
episodes in
releases.
movie
Because,
theaters.
listen, if we know about it, and listen, we're very informed, but there's got to be other people who know about it because they look at the top 5 and they see, what is this thing?
Right.
Right? And so I do think that culturally, as much as you can say this has permeated the culture, I do think it is. I don't know if this is its high watermark and this is its apex, but it's definitely reaching a peak of people knowing it exists. And I think, therefore, this is going to do very well. I'm looking at $11 million for this.
Wow. I mean, I guess let's get into then our predictions, because the Chosen season 3 season finale could be in contention with 80 for Brady. You know, I mean, they're closer than one would think.
I mean, it could also do better than Avatar.
It could do better. Oh, than this weekend of Avatar. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes.
Well, not all in, obviously.
Right. I mean, let's get into it then. Clayton, you're coming in hot with your Chosen season 3 season finale prediction. So, do you want to give a predicted top 5 for this weekend?
I think Knock at the Cabin Door #1.
Yes, slam
I'm
doink.
saying 27.
Okay.
#2, you know what? I'm not going to count out Avatar. I do think Avatar is going to be #2.
Okay.
And I think 80 for Brady is going to be #3. Then Chosen, season 3 finale. And then #5, Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, still dropping like the slowest rock you could ever drop.
So, if you think Avatar Way of Water is coming in 2 ahead of, did you say 80 for Brady was 3?
Yeah.
Then what do you think those are making? Because Avatar made 15.9 last weekend. So do you think Avatar is making around 12 or 13?
I think it makes around 11 or
Okay.
12. I think it makes around 12. I think 80 for Brady makes around 11. And
Okay.
I think it's a squeaker with The Chosen. I think we're going to be talking about, can The Chosen overtake 80 for Brady?
I mean, then I'm pretty much in the same boat. I mean, slam doink, knock at the cabin. I think it makes 28 or 29. It's sniffing 30. Number 2. Yeah, if we're going with Avatar Way of Water 2, then that probably makes 12. And You know what? I'm going low on 80 for Brady. Number 3 is The Chosen season 3 finale. Number 4 is 80 for Brady.
Okay.
And you know what? Number 4, Puss in Boots: Last Wish. Number 5 is 80 for Brady. I think 80 for Brady is
Whoa.
tanking. I think it's tanking.
Oh, it's a tank. Oh, you think it's. See, I don't think it tanks.
I think it comes in number 5. I think there's a chance it does 9 million.
All right. I mean, it's going to be interesting. I mean, it's tracking really well, and people are bullish on it. So I don't know if it's going to necessarily tank,
We're gonna,
but it'll
yeah,
be interesting.
I'm going full tank. I'm going full tank on this
Wow.
one.
All righty. Well, Pat, I mean, I think we did it for this
Oh,
weekend
we
coming
definitely
up.
did it. And listen, for those of you who on our last episode, we teased that we might have Jeff Bach of Exhibit Relations Co. Things come up. He had a
Hmm.
story to investigate. Hot tip, hot lead. He had to get on the streets, get on the beat. So he couldn't make it this episode, but very soon he will be on. And you know what? Instead of teasing it next time, you're just going to turn on an episode of the BO Boys and he's going to be there and
Yeah,
it'll be a nice surprise. So
I think
it'll
that's
be coming up.
better.
Yeah, coming up. So, but do follow Jeff Bach, Exhibitor Relations Co. on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter at the BO Boys Pod. Wannabe O intern Christopher is killing it there with the clips and all that. So follow us on social. Subscribe on YouTube. Smash, we're pointing down for those of you watching on YouTube. Smash that like button, smash that subscribe button,
Yeah.
smash, and subscribe. Give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. Very
Yes.
important to help get the word out about the show. 5 stars. Leave a review. We'll read the review, but the 5 stars is really all that matters. And listen to me on another podcast I co-host called The Show Me the Money. It's on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Myself and Nick Turner, former box office comedy star from the summer of 2020. We are breaking down the road to the Academy Awards and who you should bet on, who you shouldn't bet on. And it's great for movie fans, gambling addicts, and everyone in between. So the Show Me the
Yes.
Money.
And if you have a gambling problem in New York, 1878 HOPE NY. That is 1878 HOPE NY. And if you are listening to Pat and Nick's show, you should give them a ring.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, they're there for you, I guess.
Or, yeah,
Or not.
I've
Who
never
knows?
called them.
I haven't called either.
Pat, I think we did it.
Yes.
There's nothing left to say
No.
except until next time.
Will
We'll smell
smell you
you
at
at
the
the
box
box
office.
office.
Nailed
Nailed
it.
it.